Good afternoon, everyone. Right, let me just check. I'm in the middle. I think I'm in the middle. Okay, so hi. Thank you for joining me. Sorry, I'm just getting set up on my tablet so I can see any comments. So if you are, I am watching the Facebook comments at the minute. So if you are watching on there, please give me a thumbs up or a heart or something or a comment, and I'll see you're there, and I'll say hello. Right, while we wait for people to join as well. Okay. So, hi! There's one. Alright, so I'll keep an eye out for the comments and stuff. Hi, Karen! Right. So, hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. It's a good Wednesday. Yo, it's the Jasper. Right. So, Jasper... Lynette did hers on here, didn't she, recently, so you can catch up. Hi, Gail. Hi, Dawn. Okay. So fantastic. Right, I'm going to start my jibber jabber now. Thank you so much to CraftWorld and CraftStash for having me for a live masterclass. I am worried about the term masterclass, not going to lie. Feels like it's a touch of overkill for me, really. You know, faffing with Bev, that would have been quite good. Or making a mess with no plan with Bev, that would have worked too. But masterclass, well, I'm not too sure about that one, but we'll keep going anyway. Hi Lynn, hi Alison, hi Rosie. Okay, I will keep going. So today we're going to be using the Doodle Art Houses. Now, if you saw, we were doing a giveaway with a bundle for the 4 Doodle Art Houses in the regular size and the ticker tapes and the Dinkables, and I'm going to throw in some MDF there as well. So I will be announcing the winner of that giveaway at the end, if I ever get finished. Who knows when the end will be, you know. Yeah, sorry. Right, guys, so if you have never heard of us or who we are or whatever, which is totally cool, I'm Bev, I'm from Be Crafty. We are a family-run craft business here in the UK. We've been going for 19 years this year, and in 2012 we started making our own range of clear polymer stamps, and then from there we've gone on. We now do our own templates, our own MDF. We've just launched our very first range of dies this month as well. So, you know, we do lots of different things, and what we like to do is make sure that we're bringing you products that you really love. It's really, really important to us. So we are talking to CraftStash right now about getting some of our products onto their website. So that will be good too. Okay, faffing with Bev. You see, it works, doesn't it, Pip? Right, so these are the Doodle Art Houses, which are the newest addition to the Doodle Art range. What we also have in the Doodle Art, we have some fantastic things. Well, you know, in fairness, that sounds a bit big-headed, actually. They're fantastic. I drew them. Is that bad? I'm not sure. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So also in the Doodle Art, we have these fab mushrooms. These are quite cool. So this is in one of my little art journals. I do lots of different sorts of crafting, okay? I'll work on 12 by 12 scrapbook pages. I'll work in journals. I'll work in other little books I've got here as well. So that's the Doodle Art butterfly. I've also got another Doodle Art page here, which is the bee. And that's the bigger one there. Okay. There is also the dragonfly there, and there's mushrooms again, and oh, got a bird. I like the Doodle Art. There's lots out and about because they're fabulous, and like all of the Doodle Art, I have to say, and a lot of our stamps, let me just move these things out the way, we do them in 2 sizes. So for example, the houses we're doing today, we also do in an XL size. So for example, that's the regular size and that's the XL. Okay, so yeah, so the Doodle Art is a fab range which I absolutely love. And quickly, I'm just going to show you quickly. I say that, and who knows if it'll be quickly. In the Doodle Art range, let me just go back to this journal here. We do have this Doodle Art girl, and it's just a half face, which is absolutely fab and fun to play with. But what I love most about her is if you just worry about, you know, getting the dimension of the face right, which I have mixed success with. But my journal, you'll see it has various different things. And oh look, I've started one of my houses there and some sketches and whatever. But what I love about her is, again, so this is the XL size and this is a regular. If you just want to stamp the face, you can freehand a lot of the hair in if you want to, and then you can really, you know, have a bit of a mess and have a play and whatever, which as you will be about to learn is my wheelhouse. You know, having a play and a mess. Completing projects, yeah, maybe, but having a mess and a play, ah well, you see. Now we're on it. So with that in mind and having a mess and a play, I did say on my test earlier, but in case you missed it, so we are going to be playing with some different techniques and some different things today. But if there's anything specific that you think, oh, I hope she has a go with that, you know, so I've seen she does journaling and cards and whatever, I hope she has a play with that. Ask, put on, just say, oh, have a go. Have a go, you know, put on there. I want you to see if this will work. I'm okay with that. It's absolutely fine. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to faff with Bev. Okay. I will try and get a project completed. I make you no promises and I will tell you no lies. I'm not really sure. Okay. but we're going to have a go and we're going to have some fun with these houses anyway. So like I say, I'll be announcing the winner at the end. I will stop going on in a minute and we'll start making, I promise. Okay. Let me just lift this page out of the way and then we can start playing. So these are the 4 Doodle Art Houses. Okay, so we have Sky Terrace, the Birdhouse, Villa Rose and Rainbow View. Okay, so all of these work to get together. Let me have a quick look. Hi. Oh, love the stamps. Can I ask what die cutting machine you use for your dies, please? I use a very, very ancient Grand Caliber, because that's what I have. I've also used a Cuttlebug, so that's very old as well. My daughter's used a Gemini and Sam uses a Big Shot. So everything we have so far they've worked in fine. So yeah, so these are the 4 stamps. Okay. And then we have our ticker tape ones, which we're going to use. Now, ticker tape 1, probably comes as no surprise, was our first ticker tape stamp set. And we are going to be adding more in. We're now up to 3. But ticker tape 1 is lovely. And what I love about this stamp set is you can use the sentiments in completely, or you can just use little sections. So for example, this one where you've got live every moment, love every day, laugh beyond words, you know, you can just chop out and use the live, love, laugh if you want, and then you can just use the every moment, every day beyond words. You know, that's pretty. Be silly, be fun, be different, be you, or just be silly, be different. For me, that's enough to be happy, isn't it? Marvellous. Okay, right guys, so let's get... It would make a lovely street to live in. I tell you, it would make a fantastic street to live in. So we're going to start doing some stamping. Now, if you are new to my lives, I do lives every week on Facebook, but if you are new to my videos and things, I will tell you now, I have a tendency to go off on a tangent. I have a tendency to... You know, and I'll tell you for why. My memory is awful, okay? And I will be like, oh, I have to quickly tell you something whilst I remember. And then I'll forget to go back to where I was. Right, so this is a damaged book I got from a charity shop. So it was very damaged when I got it. It was missing pages and whatever, because I could never ever do this to a book that was still in its entirety. I really, really couldn't. But I can do it to one that's already damaged, because I feel it's giving the pages a second lease of life. Okay, so I think the first house we'll stamp with, I don't know, because lots of you guys seem to like lots of different ones. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with the birdhouse to start, which is lovely. But my mum, the Queen Bee, Julie, the matriarch of Be Crafty, she calls them something different. Okay, she calls them 1, 2 and 3, because this is something I didn't notice in the fairy house, because she thinks this looks like a fairy house and this has got 1 fascia, 2 fascia, 3 fascias. There you go. But they're all great and you can mix and match them up and cut bits off. Mum's done some samples where she's cut this one, so it's just that fascia there, so it's like that sort of style, so she can stack them up and create a little street. So you can do that too. Okay. I honestly couldn't destroy a book. I couldn't destroy a book. Right. So what I'm going to be using for stamping is our super skinny slims. These come in 4 sizes. There is a bigger one as well. Now, in terms of acrylic blocks, we do 2 different sorts. Okay, we do the super skinny slims and we do the slims. Okay, the slims are 5mm thick acrylic, and then the super skinnies are 2mm thick. Okay, and they've got just that little bit of flex, which makes it great if you're doing big stamps or you're worried about putting on enough pressure and whatever. I know lots of guys have stamping platforms now, but I cannot get on with them for love nor money. And yes, I have tried, I promise. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my VersaFine and I'm going to ink up my birdhouse first. And we're going to stamp this onto our book pages. I think what's really cool about these, so see, if you're just not sure about applying enough pressure, just give it a little flex, and it's a little flex, not a bend, and then you've got your house on your book page. How cool is that? Right, so yeah, I think what's really cool about these houses is you can use all your different colourings on them. Of course, you can stamp them on lots of different things, of course, but I think the other thing as well is you can do paper piecing. You know, we've all got a varying degrees of offcuts of paper. I think, you know, that they're a bit too big to throw away because that would be wasteful, but we haven't used them for anything. You could paper piece the roof on, or do you know what I mean? So you could do that with them too, which is fab. So there we go, that one's there, and then we'll do a rainbow view, which is lovely. Again, Mum says it looks like the roof's made out of Smarties. Other sweets are available, as they say. Right, so let me just put, now this is a bit of a tight squeeze on here. I could be asking for trouble. I should probably use my bigger one, but that might slow me down. We don't want that, do we? Right, so I'm just going to put that on there. Again, a little bit of a flex. Okay. And then I'm going to go on with the last one, which is Villa Rose. Okay, and the reason we say this one's more of a villa is because it's got the balcony and whatever on there, which is really nice. Now, a lot of these sets you'll see, you know, they come with extra chimneys. Which one has the fence? You know, the sky terraces come with a little fence that you can join up to make a fence. Lanterns and lots of clouds. There's lots and lots of clouds, which are so ace. Absolutely marvellous. So here we go, Villa Rose. Now, I'm going to do all of these. Again, if we run out of time or I'm taking too long, I'm really sorry. It's one of those things, I did make myself a little vague plan of what we were going to do today, but in all honesty, due to my tendency to go off on a tangent, it is very loose, and I do want to always make sure that, you know, I am watching what you guys want, and if you want me to do something else, I can. Okay, and I've got all my colourings here. I've got some paint, some Dilutions paint, some Dilutions sprays, oxides, regular distress, my ink tents, my watercolour pencils, so we can use it all if there's anything you want to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for my ink tents blocks, but again, I do paint into these with my distress ink, with my oxides, and even with my Dilution sprays. You know, you can paint with them really, really well. So there's lots you can do there. I am really worried I'm going to take far too much time. So I am really sorry if I overrun and you're like, crikey, I thought she was never going to finish, or I've got to go because she's just taking too long. I will try not to be too bad, I promise. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and also, we used to do all of our stamps, the backing card is laminated, okay, so you can store your stamps on there if you want. And we used to do mainly black and white, but we were asked by you guys that buy our stamps if we could leave the colour in, do coloured in packaging, because it's a really great leaping off point when you first get your stamps. Okay, your favourite is the birdhouse with the round door. Are Super Slims easy to use? Yes, they are, my darling. I find them really easy to use. Because for me, I've actually tried to use platforms, and I know they are absolutely great for some people, and they really do, you know, if you struggle to apply enough pressure, they've been an absolute godsend. I absolutely know that, but I actually really struggle with platforms. And I find the Slims much easier because I can see where to use, and so they're what I generally use the super skinny Slims, yeah. I do occasionally use the regular Slims. They're a bit thicker if you prefer a thicker acrylic block, because obviously the super skinnies are very skinny. Right, so you can see, look at that, straight on with the green, ready to go. It's absolutely fab, absolutely beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use, let's use our cards. Okay, so you can see how quickly these come together. So we'll go with our yellow next, and again you could use, like I say, you could use your oxides or your distress ink. This no problem at all. This would also look really cool in a journal. In terms of art journaling, one of the questions I'm asked most is what journal do you like to work in? I have about 8 different books on the go at the minute. Everything from just a cartridge paper book to the Dina Wakley journals, so, and the Dilutions journals. So I just pick up, I don't know, whichever one speaks to me on the day, I suppose. Here we go. Yeah, I'm using the Inktense blocks at the minute, okay, but you could also use, what we'll do is we'll do this one with Inktense blocks, and then we'll do another one with Distress or something like that. Is that a good idea? So you guys can see. Never been into stamping. Mary, honestly, the thing with stamping for me, the reason why I absolutely love stamping is the possibilities, okay, and all the techniques you can do, okay. So for me, the thing with stamping, okay, it's not just stamping. When you stamp like this, like I was saying earlier, you can paper piece because you can stamp on different sorts of papers and layer them up. You can heat emboss. You can, excuse me, you can stamp into different mediums. You can watercolour with them. And the best thing about it is, in my opinion, you can try all these things, and if you don't like them, or it all goes hideously wrong, which it does for all of us, by the way, if it all goes hideously wrong, you've lost nothing apart from the piece of paper or card you were working on, because you'll still have your stamps, you still have the things you've got. Do you know what I mean? So it's not wasteful. You can try all these techniques without getting rid of what you've bought to do it with. Do you see what I mean? So that's one of the main reasons I like stamping so much, because you can do all these funky things and you still have the stamps to play with after. You haven't used them up, you know. So that's why. Oh look, Sam's here. Say hi, Sam. So Sam will also be doing a live at some point. So yeah, so you guys that that we're new to, so Be Crafty, I've said it's a family business, but I didn't really go into that anymore, did I? So I will while I'm painting. It's me, Sam, my sister, and my mum, Julie. And then my dad is our laser cutter. So he's the one that cuts all of our templates, all of our MDF. It's all laser cut, so it's really high quality. So it really is proper family business. And it also means my poor dad has never been able to get away from the daughter's phone call going, "Dad," and then he goes, "What?" Because he knows it means I need something quickly, like some samples or something really quickly. Okay, so you can see that it comes together really quick. So I'll leave that to dry, and then I'll add in, for example, like the white highlights and stitching after. Okay, so, oh, I forgot to do my weather vane at the top. So we'll just go around there, add in our weather vane. Whee! That's ace. Okay, so you can see how quickly it comes together and painted. And on the book pages, it just looks so cool. Alright, so that's one done with Inktense. So we said we're going to paint another one with Distress, didn't we? So I suppose we could do one oxide and one regular Distress, really, couldn't we? Right, so I think what we'll do is we'll stay with this one. And I did get a couple of my oxides out. So let me just check I've got the right sort of colours. Well, we can definitely do something, can't we? Right, so I'm working on my blending mat. Now this is, I love using my blending mat because you can put your inks on it without the wastage. And unlike my non-stick craft sheet, the brown ones that I use for heat embossing on or doing paint on a lot, you can see the colours. So if you're using a pale distress colour, you can see it because of the pale colour of your blending mat, which is really cool. Right, so I'm just going to take the Mermaid Lagoon, alright, and then I'm going to use, what have I done with my lid for this little bottle that I will knock over? So, yeah, so when I'm painting with my Inktense, I keep sort of like a water bottle and I just dip in and go like that. I'm a knocker overer, so I just hold it and do that. So, but when I'm painting with my Distress off my mat, I'll squish it onto my mat, give it a little bit of a spray, and then there we go. We've got a fantastic colour ready to go to paint with. And again, this is the versatility of Distress. If you don't, again, if you're new to me, I absolutely love Distress. I love everything about it. It's so awesome. Again, I think it's because, like I say I love stamping because of the versatility of it, which is a buzzword we use a lot, and I'm really sorry because it's rubbish to continually use the same word, but unfortunately it is the best word for the job. Yeah, so the reason I love stamps is they're versatile because you can do so much with them. You know, you can stamp on, like we were just saying, you can stamp and you can heat emboss and whatever. But you can also stamp on your MDF. You can stamp into journals. You can stamp for cards. You can stamp for scrapbook pages. Stamp on tissue paper and do home decor projects and things. Okay, so that's one of the reasons I love stamps. Distress, in a similar way, you can do so much with them. Okay. You can paint with them, you can stamp with them, you know what I mean? There's just so much you can do. So that's fab. Okay? I'd love to see this decoupage. Oh, yes. That's lovely. That's lovely. So, what we'll do is I'm just going to go around here. I'm just going to add this in. Absolutely lovely. That's a beautiful one. Okay, and then we'll start adding in some of the other colours. So we've got mustard seed that I'm going to use for the door, and some of the tiles on the roof. Okay, so again we're just going to paint into there, and again, depending on how much water you've added, will depend on the intensity of colour. Now, if you are new to distress, I know a lot of you won't be. I know a lot of you won't be, so I apologise if I'm repeating stuff you know. But if you are new to distress, I've totally forgotten what I was going to say now. No, that was it. The oxides are more opaque because they're a pigment dye-ink mix, whereas the regular distress are a dye-ink. Okay, so we're just going to go in here. You can see I spend lots of time making sure I don't go over the lines. It's a real worry I have. Or not. No, life's too short for that. Okay, so we're just going to add in a little bit more. Now, I haven't got... Oh, I did get a green out. I didn't think I got a green out then. But I did. It's fine. I'm just going to add in a few of these. A little bit of yellow in the lantern. Okay. And then, yeah, we'll do a couple of these bricks. These extra bricks. And the fab thing is with the doodle art, and it's something I really encourage, even if it's like from the sunflower we do to any of them really, is it's a leaping off point. You know, I've left this space. If you want to add in more doodle, add in more to it, absolutely crack on. There's only one thing I say if you're using our stamps. Please show me what you make. I really want to see. Like, I really want to see. Right, now, so with our blending mat, okay, so obviously you could use this to colour lots of other things because it's sat on your blending mat, but I want to use other colours at the minute. So what I do is I get my journal that I was showing you earlier, and for example, this page here, if you, on our YouTube channel, I'll put a link on later, this was made to show you how to use a pre-started page. And what I mean by a pre-started page is pages like this, okay? Where what I've done is, in fairness, I might go over the top of that one, okay? I've got ink on my mat, and so not to waste it, I'll get my journal. And I will mop it up with my journal, okay? And then you have a pre-started page. Okay, so if you fancy doing some journaling, you know, and you're not sure what colours to start, you've got a pre-started page ready to go. Okay, and it means you don't have to get sad about any wasted ink, because that is sad, wasted ink. It's not a good feeling. Alright, so now I'm going to put on some picked raspberry and some of the cracked pistachio. We're going to use now. So again, we'll spray, and I think we'll do picked raspberry first. Should have probably cleaned my brush a little bit, but you know, there we go. On with our picked raspberry windowsills, and onto the tiles for the roof. This is the thing, you can use these cards just as a leaping off point. You don't have to be exactly the same. You know, if you have other mediums you like to use, excellent. Like I say, the only thing I request when you are using Be Crafty stamps is please show me what you make, because I absolutely love to see. We all do. And the nice thing about crafting is you can really fire someone's inspiration, and we can all share it. It's great. And that's what I love about it. It's one of the brilliant things that's come from an otherwise very shaky year. I think that's, you know, the politest way to put it. There's been so much that we've been able to share with each other, hasn't there? You know, that we might not have had the chance to do at another time. So it's one of those, isn't it? It's just have I share all this creativity. Okay. Love the result from the mop-up. Absolutely. And that's the thing. You haven't wasted the ink as well. So it means you're not reluctant to get your journal out because you've got something in there ready to go. And it means you're not reluctant to have a go at this because you know you're not wasting the ink. So everyone's a winner. Right, so I'm just going to then go in with some of our cracked pistachio, which is a lovely bright zingy colour. Has anyone got the new speckled egg? We did have the speckled egg in the shop at Be Crafty, but I was a nice person and let other people have it, so I never actually got one. Oh dear. Bit silly, really. But what can I say? Crafters are great at doing the whole puppy dog eyes things at me. I want a speckled egg. Okay. So, I'm going to go down there. So, I am sorry, guys, if this is taking longer than you were hoping for. Right. And then from there, I'm going to go straight on to Villa Rose. You can see, so that one's done with the ink tents. That one's done with oxide. So there's loads of different ways to do it. Now, what we're going to do with Villa Rose, I'm going to use another one of my books. Let's mop that up. I'm going to use this one. This is just a little Moleskine book. There you go. Another one started there as well. I love it. If you haven't got a book, grab a tag. Tags are great for mop up too. Okay. Now what I'm going to do with this one, I will say, if you're using alcohol markers on something like book pages, do make, especially thin ones like this, do make sure you've got something underneath. You know, something like a blending sheet or a glass mat, or even some scrap paper, because the alcohol markers will really go through on this. Let me just get my watercolour pencils. It's one of those, I wanted to get everything out ready, but I do change my mind as I go along, and I thought if I get too much out and then I change my mind, you've then got to wait for me to put it away, so I just put everything in arm's reach. It's like I tried to have a tidy up, and then I couldn't find anything. So I thought I'm best just working in my usual chaos, and then at least I know where everything is. So after I did the Be Crafty live last night, I just sort of put everything back to where it's supposed to be, for me, and then I thought at least I'm going to know where everything is. So I'm just going to do these three. I'm not going to go to the rainbow view, because I think we want to start actually making something, don't we? Saying that, it's only past. I thought I'd been going like for hours already. Just because you know what it's like when you're talking as well. I might have to stop for a little drink in a minute, so I'm feeling a bit parched. Okay. So I'm just going to go around here with my watercolour pencils. Okay. And then with my water brush, again, so what I'll do is I'll get my mister, and then I'll just hold it like this. And I usually have my microfiber sort of there. So if I need to just, whatever. And then just go around and pull out the colour. What is that? That's not one of my usual watercolours. I know, because it's not as watercolour-y. So I'm going to do some watercolour with that, but I am going to add in some others in a minute, because that's not as good as my Prismala ones. Okay. So, I am keeping an eye out, just looking right. So if you do have any questions, I will do my best to try and answer them. But Mum and Sam are here as well. So if you've got any sort of Be Crafty-esque questions, go ahead and they will do what they can to give you an appropriate answer. I'm going to go with, right, so I'm just going to go back over and I'm going to add a little bit of red. Okay. Because I have to be honest. Oh dear, I've ripped it. No, we're going to have to redo that. And this is the thing. Sometimes things go wrong. I tell you what then, we'll abandon Villa Rose. And we will do Rainbow View, because I ripped that one. That was a classic example, boys and girls, of this isn't going right. I should stop, but I'm going to keep going. Should have stopped. I knew I was having to add too much water. Right, so with this watercolour pencil, and these are my favourite ones, so I'm very confident this will work. That pink one was a rogue inside my tin. But again, it does actually sort of reinforce what I was saying about the paper on your book pages being quite thin. So if you are going over them with alcohol markers or stuff, do be careful not to go through. So absolutely, you can scribble them on paper and pick them up that way. That's the great thing about them. There's lots of different ways to use them. I like to do them this way because what I do is I shade in where I want it the darkest and then pull the colour out. And then it's instant shading. You see? So it's not a solid colour. So that's why I do the pencil around the edge. Then I can pull it in to where it would be lighter, and then you don't have to worry about light and dark and shading or whatever because it's all just done for you. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's pretty cool. And what's good about doing it with your pencils for something like Rainbow View, okay, is you can just pick out the sweetie roof if you want to, or you can do it all different colours. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick out few different tiles. As you see, I give it a lot of thought as to where I place each one. It's just a case of going in, and this is the great thing about doing houses and stuff like this. No one can tell you it's wrong because it can't be right either. In a way, it's just exactly what you feel at the time. Just add in some purple ones. The blue. Now, if I'm trying to make something using all the different colours of the rainbow, okay, I do the rainbow song. I was talking about this on a live last week. It's not the rainbow song as in the actual real life colours of a rainbow. It's more red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. Okay, so red, so I need some yellow tiles as well. And yellow. Pink, that pencil will be fine for doing this bit. Pink. Green. Purple, orange, and then you've got the blue. So it's just, that's how I make sure all the colours I want are in there. Okay, so it absolutely is. This one, I won't go into the brand of the one I didn't like, to be honest. These are the Caran d'Ache, which I really like. Inktense pencils are really good. They're the next on my go-to list, I have to say. I'm quite looking forward to having those, but because I absolutely adore the blocks. So it's just a case of, what is it my dad always says? My dad always says, he's got a thing, cheap ain't good and good ain't cheap, a lot of the time. So it's just, you know, but I would like to say, when I'm saying things like that, everybody has a budget. I don't care. You know, I know the budgets vary in size, but everybody has a different budget, and it's prioritising what you want to use that budget for, isn't it? You know, I'm not as daft as I look most of the time. So I'm just going to go around here and I'm going to stay off the windowsills because I'm going to leave them white like on the backing card. I'm just going to go around the windows. In terms of the shapes of the windows, when we launched these, someone said to me, what made you do all the windows, the funny shape? I've got no idea. I just took it upon myself that day. I am honestly a living, breathing as is not to a reason why, because I don't have a lot of the time. It's kind of like when you're making a project, really. Sometimes you don't know why it's gone a particular way or why you've thought, yay, let's go with that colour. But the whole point is, as long as you're having fun, then it really doesn't matter. All the other stuff doesn't matter at all. I'm just going to go in with it. It's a very, very, very dry brush. Just to... almost too dry, one would say. I have the Inktense blocks and pencils. Honestly, use them. They're the Caran d'Ache, the pencils I'm currently using. Those ones there, if that helps. And that's not one of those, you know, I'm trying to sell you something, because I don't sell them. This is me just telling you the ones I use. So, yeah. See, this is me. I've gone off on a tangent now. Now I can't remember what I'm doing. Right. So, now I really feel like I should try and make something. Complete something at the very least. So you can say, oh, she showed us how to make this. Okay. This is why I show you lots of samples at the beginning. So at least you have seen something complete. Right. So what I'm going to do is have... so these are the 3 we've coloured. What I do also have is I have this little box of cut up bits. So when, you know, I feel like making something but I really have nothing going on and in terms of an idea, I'll stamp out things like the little accessory pieces from my Doodle Art Houses or my ticker tape words even, and I'll sit and I'll cut them out, or I'll colour them and then cut them out. And I do create prep boards, but I'll go into that another time. There's something else to look forward to in randomness. Right, so I'm going to take, like I said, I wanted to do technique-y stuff, so, you know, if nothing really does get finished, it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to take a card. Do I want that one, or shall I use... will I be able to get all 3 of them on? So use that card. Maybe. Maybe. I'm wondering if I can do that card in a sort of layout similar to the scrapbook page I showed you at the beginning. Maybe. This is where I need an assistant. I do need an assistant. Do you know what? I am actually going to grab an assistant really, really quickly to cut these out while we work on the backing. There we go. I've enlisted the help of an assistant. It's not what you know, is it? Right. Okay. So, prep boards, yes. So we'll have a quick look at the prep boards then. Mine actually need restocked, but I'll show you what I mean. So when I am struggling with Crafty Mojo and whatever, I make prep boards. So the brown non-stick craft sheets, I stick to wooden boards, okay? And then when I'm suffering from Crafty Mojo, I'll stamp out sentiments and... oh, he's got a bit of a bent tail. Doodle art, sentiments, things like that. And I will paint them and I'll cut them out and I'll stick them on here. And I'll add things like my glossy accents on here, right? And then what that means is I can, you know, if I do get my Crafty Mojo back, or sometimes this will actually kickstart it, you know, and I want to add on a pinky purpley butterfly with glossy accents on, I can finish my project straight away because I've got one ready. Okay? So this is really, really cool. It's a really good way to do things. I would show you my sentiment one, but it's empty. It needs a total restock. As in, I've got it here. And look, all I've got is 3 little arts on it. From Ticker Tape 3, I think it is. That's all it has. So it needs a total restock. Right, so what we're going to do is, while Abby is cutting those out for us, she's a little legend, isn't she? Right, we're going to use some of our stamps and some of our D'Inkables Set 8. And we're going to use D'Inkables Set 8. And also, I'm going to use some of what is Set 3 when we're on Telebox. But we do all these individually. Now, all of our templates, again, if you're new to us, this is the info. If you're not, and I'm repeating myself, I'm very sorry. All of our Inkables, so these are D'Inkables. We do 6x6 Inkables, and we also do texture discs, which are circles. I've put them somewhere else. And our newest edition is the Inkables Big Ones. So these are, you know, quite big, but they're awesome. Okay. Now I'm going to get that out because that is actually relevant. Now all of our Inkables D'Inkables texture discs and big ones are cut from 350 micron mylar. Now what that means is they're pretty heavy duty, which means if you're using texture paste, you get great texture. If you are, you know, wanting to emboss them on your die cutting machine, you can. So this one's the Botanical Garden. I made a little card using that last night. I started it on TV last week and I finished it last night. Okay, so you can emboss them as well because they're so weighty. And if you're using texture paste, you get a really, really good, you know, dimension on there, which is fab. But and they're all made like that, all the D'Inkables and everything. So this is one of my favourite D'Inkables. This is the spatter, and I did this because I like to throw ink everywhere. I've actually been very refined today, can I just say? I like to throw ink everywhere, and this one is great if you like that effect, but you don't like getting messy. You don't like the mucky, you don't like the mess, and you don't want to be messy. And that's totally cool, and I totally understand it. Right, so what it means you can do, so let me, I'm just going to use some of the colours, because I think the colours we had in our oxide will work perfectly with how we've painted all of our houses. Okay, I know we technically only used oxide thing, but so I'm going to add on, so I'm going to get a clean foam, because that's not, oh, something just fell down. So I'm just going to use my blending tool. Okay, and this is where the blending mats really, really do come into something. Okay, this is a clean foam, it's just dyed. Okay, so blend the ink into my foam, and then we sort of get that sort of ink spatter look. Do I need to move up a little bit? Yeah, I do. Without getting ink all over you. If you don't want to, obviously. I generally do, but that's just, you know, should have turned that round. So you can get that sort of inky spattery look. Just by using your spatter template and your blending tools, which is ace. Okay, and then so these are the ones that are in the prize draw, the giveaway, sorry, that I will announce at the end. So I'm going to take my Mermaid Lagoon. I'm going to line that up and put that one there. Put that one there. Okay, so I'm just going to start building up some of the layers, and then we're going to use some of our accessory stamps as well. Okay, and we're going to doodle through some as well. So I'm just going to use some picked raspberry with this one. Okay, and I think I'm going to do some of these sort of, I don't know, they're sort of like abstract triangle sort of things. And then, right, okay. And then I'm going to take this one here, okay, and I'm going to doodle a little bit through it. We're sort of going to create a wave that goes across here. So some of it will be covered up when we stick the houses down, some of it won't. But again, this would all translate really well to an art journal page too. So many tips of getting your unfinished projects out. Yeah, definitely. Definitely do that.
Who are the first two?
See, Abby, you are a legend.
The lights fall on.
You lopped that bit off. That's absolutely fine, my duck. See, look at that. Isn't she good? Everybody should have an Abby, I tell you. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to just doodle through this. So, and this is something lots of people, they do think of it, but then they sometimes like forget about it, that you can use your D'Inkables and your other templates for doodling through, you know, and just adding in other bits. See, that's why I was trying to go slow, to avoid doing that. Okay. And then I'm going to add in a little more up here. Now, the thing with crafting like this, in the way I'm currently doing, it's sort of like art journal pages on cards in a way. Is if you get halfway through and you're like, I'm not sure, I'm really not sure, keep going. And I'll tell you for why, my lovelies. You've got nothing to lose. If you're not sure you like it, then what does it matter? If you keep going and you get to the point where you really don't like it, it doesn't matter. Because you've lost nothing. So you might as well keep going. Practice putting some stuff together. See how you feel about it. Right, so I'm going to grab some of the templates. Some of the stamps. Now, a couple of the stamps have got some really groovy borders on. And this is my favourite one. It's like a little vine. It's on Villa Rose. I'll just get the one for you. So we've got the vine on there. But I'm just actually going to take this quick moment that I've just dropped on the floor. I've just dropped that vine on the floor. And then trust me, in my craft room, that's a really bad thing. But I found it. It's right there. One of the best things about the Doodle Art range, okay, I'm just going to quickly grab, what shall I grab? I'll grab the bumblebee. Can't find the backing card. Oh, here we go. So remember I was telling you that the new backing cards are all coloured in and the old ones were black and white. So for example, this now does come coloured in. But all of the Doodle Art come with fab accessories. Okay, so this is the bean. You've got these borders, you've got honeycomb and flowers and all these sorts of things. The sunflower has got 3 different borders and flowers. The mushrooms, you've got these borders and whatever. So all the Doodle Art work really well in a sort of mix and match, you know, doobery. But the nice thing is, like I was saying earlier, because if you don't see the doodle style border you want, or you're thinking, oh no, I was thinking something different, you know, as you're crafting, then make it different. Add in exactly what you want. I have basically just started the doodling. You know, if you want to doodle extra somethings, or, you know, add in some more stitching, or add in other bits, then absolutely go for it. You know, I've just done the leaping off point, for want of a better description. If you want to add in more doodling, extra bits of doodling, then yeah, definitely. I think it's one of the best things about this, is that you can add in so much more if you want to. Abby, you'll never guess what I've just done.
What's the stamp?
No, I've put those houses down and I've got no idea where.
Here's one of them. I've just finished.
Thank you. Right, so we'll keep hold of that one in case. Oh no, they're there. They were under my ink pad, my darling. Thank you very much, as you were. Okay. So I'm going to take that one off there. And then I'm going to take... Is she good? Okay. So, Doodle Art is new to me as I've not seen it in the USA. Right, Rena. So, the Doodle Art is one of our ranges of stamps. Okay. It was launched last year with... what did we launch it with? With the bird, the butterfly, the dragonfly, and the girl's face. Okay. And then we added in the sunflower and the bee. And then this year we've added in the houses. So it's one of our ranges, the Doodle Art. Okay. And what's lovely about it, and hopefully they will be on CraftStash soon, they're not at the minute. But we are talking to them about getting that sorted. But the nice thing about that is like you say, like I was just saying, you can add more doodle, and you should add more doodle. It's good. We need some yellow in here, don't we? But before we do that, okay, what I'm going to do, and this is just drawing, and we want it to be wiggly. Okay, so we're going to hold our pen quite high up because it means you lose control of it, and we're going to draw across the top of there, and we're going to draw again, and then we're going to draw down the side. I'm going to draw again. And we want it to be wiggly. So, you know, this is one of these, if you're like, well, I can't draw a straight line, then this is perfect for you. And you see, it sort of gives you sort of like a doodly frame, which is awesome. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to whiz over to one of my Inkables Big Ones. Because... oh, I think I've wrecked that one. What I want is some of these circles, and I'm going to use my yellow for that. This desk is now in complete disarray. Do you want to have a quick look? Look. Absolute mayhem. Absolute mayhem. I love it. Right. Okay. So we're going to add in some yellow. With our mustard seed, okay, because I just think this is missing that yellow, to be honest. It's almost like the primary colour that's missing, so I'm just going to add that in a couple of spots. There we go, that's much better, much happier now, looks more balanced. Alright, now I'm going to go to the clouds. Now the clouds, I have to say, are ace. They're an absolutely brilliant thing, and in fairness, you need the sets just to have all the different clouds. They're so useful. They're so good. Okay, so you struggle with wiggly lines, never tried holding the pen higher? Absolutely, darling. It automatically gives you less control, which is what you're going for. You want less control of the pen. Okay, then we're going to add in, again, we might not see all these because we're going to go in with our houses, but that's alright. It's all about layering it. And then if you practice it like this, and if you want to do this in a journal page, you'll have everything you need ready. Okay, what I am going to do is I'm going to go into here and get a few of our pre-stamped and cut out clouds. It's a bit of a cloudy day by the looks of it, isn't it? And then we're going to put these on 3D foam, and that way they're going to stand out a little. So, I bet you everyone else that's done masterclasses so far, like I say, masterclass makes me chuckle. Masterclasses so far has been really sort of organised and clean. Yeah. I didn't quite get there, did I? So I'm just going to have to wipe my hands because I can see a few black smudges and they're coming from me. So what I'll do, I've lost my sprayer, just spray my hands. They're on our website in the minute, my darling. So we will put a link on for that later. Okay. So yeah, if you put Be Crafty in, Rosie, I really love that background. Then have a go, my darling. Have a go. There's nothing to stop you. All right. And then, right, do you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm actually going to put the houses on before I do any more. And that way we can see where we might want to add in a few more things and we can add our sentiment on. Okay. So just like I probably will go back, my lovelies, I'll have to say, and add some white pen detail onto our houses, because those who do know me know that there are few things I enjoy more in life than a white pen. Oh, look at Abby's cutting out. Isn't she so good? Okay, so we're going to put rainbow view there. And then we're going to add in our two other houses. And I don't know whether to just leave it as rainbow view, to be honest. What do you think, guys? Do you think just leave it as rainbow view, or shall I put the other two in as well? It is all about the right pen with me. Absolutely. So, I think all three houses. There we go. Lindsay was the first to say, so she wins. She wins. All three houses. Okay. So we'll put but this is the thing, you know, I'm putting loads on for you to see. When you do this yourself, you could say, do you know what, she went over the top. I'm actually going to do less. She just went too far. Okay, so we're just going to add in some more of these. Like I say, I will add in more white pen and I'll put a picture on our experts page. Okay. I'm just going to tuck that underneath. Oh yes, beautiful. Now here, this is where we're going to have to pick our sentiment. So I'm going to use some sentiments from our ticker tape 1 that I was showing you earlier. Now, what's great about I'm going to talk your way through this one because this one's really good. So you've got this lovely big life here that would probably look quite good. And then you've got be silly, be fun, be different, be you. Life is too short to be anything but happy. So that's a really good one to use different sections of. You know, life is so much better when you're laughing. Do something today your future self will thank you for. Collect moments, not things. And look for something positive in each day, even if some days you need to look harder. That is a true fact. Very true fact. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get some card. I knew I was being over ambitious when I cut 3 or 4 cards to size. I was like, oh dear. I don't know why I thought that was ever going to happen. Oh, I found a little bit of white card for sentiment. Perfect. Right. So, be silly, be fun, be different. Or do we just... Oh, now I'm struggling. Do you know what? I'm going to add some stamps in here. So we're going to use the life off here. And yes, this is a new set, and I can prove that I have an old set, because look how dirty that one is. Be silly, be fun, be different, be you. But this is a new set, because I was showing you, wanted to show you what they look like clean. I don't very often do that. Usually I do just work with the really mucky one. But I wanted to do something a bit better. So I'm just going to stamp that, the life, into the corner of there. Right, now that's VersaFine, so that's oil based. So you can waft it with your heat tool, but I'm just going to give it a quick moment to dry. And while that's happening, I'm going to use some of these little hearts, and I'm going to put that either side of the front door. I'm actually going to go right to the edges, because I know the life will then fit in the middle. Okay, and again, you could colour these if you wanted, but there is also a smaller one of this heart. I'm going to put in the middle of the doors here. And then I feel like I want to add loads more in, like I did on my scrapbook page, but obviously I don't have that much space. I don't have as much space as I do on a 12 by 12. I don't know why that's come as a shock to me. Right, so what we'll do is we'll take this now. I'm going to cut it close to the line, but not on the line. What are the acrylic blocks you're using? Okay, so we do two sorts of acrylic blocks, my lovely. We do the super skinnies, which are these. They are in 4 sizes. Would they be easier to see if I had a bit of black card? I'm not sure. So yeah, maybe. So we do 4 sizes. These are the first 3. We've got a bigger one as well. So we do these, and these are great because they have just a little bit of flex. They're for flexing, not bending, but they have got that little bit of flex. But we also do as well the slims, which are a bit thicker if you like to have something a bit heavier to grab on to. And I'm really wishing I didn't say that. So yeah, so I'm just going to take the life here, and we're going to add some foam. And we're just going to put the life just on there. Alright, and I think I wasn't going to add some stars on, but I am going to add some little stars on. And this is where I use, so this is the super skinny slim for borders, but I use this actually as much for the little stamps because I put them on the end. I'm sure you've already seen me do this, but I didn't tell you what I was doing. And then I can just sort of dot them in. Okay, and then if you wanted to add in some more colour, so for example if you wanted to colour in the hearts and stuff, you could. But you can see, using a similar sort of... I'm going to stop because I've got a funny feeling I'm about to get a message from my mother saying stop. Okay. And no problem, I'm so sorry I've been on so long. You carry on, my lovely. So you can see from here how you can take the principles or the inspiration from a much bigger project, say from a 12 by 12, and then scale it down to a card. Okay, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. You can scale them slightly differently, and whatever. And like I say, I will add some more. If you look on the, do you know what? I won't lift up. I'll bring you to them. Okay. So if you look at the houses on the scrapbook page, you can see I've added in some paint splats and all the white detailing with the white pen, which these houses I do think need, I will say. But you can see how they're both from a similar sort of chain of thought. Okay? I hope you can anyway. Alright, so it's got to be time to announce the winner, hasn't it? I think it's got to be time to announce the winner. What's the time? It's 10 past 3. That's not bad. I had warned the very lovely people at CraftWorld and CraftStash. I said, I really don't know when I finish. I said, I have a tendency to waffle. So the winner, I have been messaged, luckily, because otherwise I would have forgot. I have been messaged, and the winner is... Oh, they've even said drum roll. I can't do a drum roll. I'm not bashing my pencils. It breaks the lead. Is Sylvia ML. And Sylvia commented that she started card making, 20 years ago. When her husband bought a computer and it had a software program called greeting cards, and that's how she started. That is so cool. All right, Sylvia. So you have won the regular Doodle Art Houses stamps. But what I am going to do is a special treat. I'm going to have a whiz through all the comments. And I'm going to give away this to one of you guys as well. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that, should I? It made it go fuzzy. So I will give away what we've made today as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I'm sorry if I went off on several tangents. I get excited about wanting to tell you all the different things, and sometimes that means I actually lose track of what I was supposed to be telling you. So I hope I haven't done that too much and you have been able to follow it okay. So here we go. So thank you very much, guys. Like I say, I'll get my trusty white pen and I'm going to add in a few details. But thank you so much for joining me. I've had an absolute blast. Bye!